Ahoy, mateys. I had actually thought about doing this ignition thing for the 2005 Dodge Caravan and then getting rid of the one I made that was too dark to see what was going on. But Carl H., the Hermit with Wi-Fi, basically talked me out of it. He liked it just the way it was. Real life. I'd have to say I agree with him. So this isn't really a remake. This is just another video concerning the same topic. Alright. As you can see, the reason for this was that the key that Don left, and he was having troubles with it before he left. You'd have to jiggle it, jiggle it, jiggle it, jiggle it, jiggle it till it would finally allow the ignition to turn. Okay. And then you can start the vehicle using the broken, the other key that was broken, but it has the chip. Alright. And, you know, if you held your mouth right, you could get the van to start. Okay. Now, I read up on, you know, Don gone to Mississippi and, yeah. Anyways, so I read up on how to, you know, figure it out, change the ignition, whatever had to be done. So I needed something to run around here. I haven't been able to work today on La Fortuna. I still have to make a remote start. Have to run 2 wires from the starter and then just use a regular switch of some kind or a push button, and then I can be under the hood and start the engine, or try to start the engine, but I can at least be under there so I can see what's going on, because with no second helper, my arms aren't long enough to turn the key and be under the hood at the same time. I don't know. Don't understand that. So, that being said, back to this van. You see, I drilled it out. I drilled this out, and basically that was the only way to get rid of the tumblers. As you heard me say, I could not turn the key. Now these are really easy to pull out. You see this little lever here. You push on that and it pops right out. But you cannot get to this lever unless you insert the key and turn it to the on position. Couldn't do that. The key would not turn the ignition. It was just too worn out. I tried other keys. I tried picking it. I'm no good at picking locks. So the only other solution, which I've done this before, was to drill it. So I drilled it out and finally got it to that point where I could put a pair of channel locks on it and turn it and pull it out. Where, you know, this got depressed enough, and I finally got it to jerk out of there. And then I played around, couldn't get it started, I drove it the first day. You know, not even very far. I just drove it to town and back. Good thing I didn't turn it off in town, or I would have had to have it towed, or it would have been impounded or something. But anyway, after playing around, finally yesterday I came up with a solution. Got the screwdriver. That's always worked. But what wasn't working, even though I would put this very close, I'd put it, you know, right under here, so it's like next to the ignition. Well, that's not the way to do it. After much studying on YouTube University, I ran across a video where it showed that the edge of your key, like right about in here where my finger is, needs to be touching or very close, maybe not touching, but within like 1/8 of an inch of this little ring that is now broken off the key ignition. Oh, it acts as an antenna pickup, and then that sends a signal to this little box, which is right here. And that little box is wired to the computer. So as long as this signal is, going to the box, and then the box sends a signal to the main computer, and if it all checks out, that okay, now you can go ahead and start the car. Otherwise, the security system will not let you start. Okay, kind of surprising, but figured it out. So yesterday I was able to put this right in here like that. As you can see, maybe you can see, it's actually touching the edge of where the key goes. And then you get behind that with a screwdriver, turn it to the on position. Ah, shucks. I'll have to call her back. You turn it to the on position, and there's a security light. Now it's flashing. That's a good sign. And we're running. Don't have to worry about steering wheel lock or transmission lock. She's now running and ready to go. I actually drove her to the store last night when I got this, and then I came back and did the video, but it was too dark, as you can tell if you watched that video. But Carl said leave it, so I'm going to leave it. In the meanwhile, somebody got into the dumpster at Shanna's next door. The dumpster was supposed to be taken out of there, and it wasn't. She asked me to check, so I walked over there and saw that it was open. Somebody got into it. I mean, I was into it, I don't know, last week, and got some scrap metal out of there. But I didn't open it. Somebody's been in there, they open it, the trash is laying on the ground, and it's like, how ridiculous. Not trash, but it's junk. And then the door to the house was half off. We're trying to figure out what's going on, or I'm trying to figure out. But I sent Shanna pictures, and she's trying to find out too. And it looks like I'll probably have to go over there and just clean it up for her. So that's going to take the rest of my day probably. It'll get dark and I won't get any scrap hauled. But maybe I can spend some time in the garage and get it ready. I do have to empty out all these tires, so I have room for scrap. It's just another day in the life. Again, I'm using the propane to warm it up in here because it's 30 degrees. That's not bad. But the windchill's like 18. It's horrible outside. It gets to me quickly. So as much as I can stay out of the wind, the better. Okay, mateys. That's an update. Maybe I think I'll put the title on there, 2005 Dodge Ignition. Something like that. But I don't know, I'll come up with a good title. So today's Monday, the 23rd of January 2023, and maybe something else interesting will happen. But otherwise, we'll see you Wednesday night at 6 p.m. for Why Do We Say That? Okay, mateys, fair winds and smiles. Yeah, keep smiling. What else you gotta do? Oh, wait. I did come up with something. You know, some people suffer from OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. They're just constantly like this, you know, rushing around, worried about stuff, can't sit still, you know, symptoms like that. Well, I finally decided that I must be suffering from OLD, which is the anti-OCD. OLD, yes. Obsessive laziness disorder. What are its causes? Weather like this, having to run a heater, not wanting to go outside. Oh, and a lack of funds doesn't help either. You know, if I had the money, I wouldn't be here. I'd be in Florida or somewhere warm. Baja, California, Mexico. I'd go with, I wouldn't have to wear Carhartts there, I don't think. I'll have to ask Christian and Tracy. Alright, so yeah, OLD, the causes, I just told you. The symptoms are eating like crazy, wanting to hibernate, a little bit of grouchiness, and just in general not wanting to get outdoors and do anything. And the grumpiness, that's, you know, not being able to, or not forcing yourself to go outside, kind of like, I'm not getting anything done. I'm not getting anything done. I just want to stay in bed. And it just kind of keeps accumulating. Yeah, OLD, obsessive laziness disorder. The cure, win the lottery. Get off your ass and do something. So here I am. Alright, mateys, fair winds and smiles. We'll see you soon, and may God bless. End of video.